Okay, so if you welcome your experience as it is, which is already the case, your experience is already welcomed. It's already welcomed, and so I say yes to whatever it is that is going on, not going on. I remain as this yesness. I recognize the effortless yesness of consciousness, whichever way reality seems to be appearing. All is well. Everything is fine as it is. The mind is invited to the peace of being, the causeless peace, which is already that which is. One could say that which I am. But not some conceptual I, not some personal I, but the universal being, universal manifestation, universal reality, which is one, knocking on my door, reminding me that I is that. And when the door is open, there are no issues. So we open the door, and as we are opening the door, we realize that in fact there is no door, because there is no separation anywhere outside of some imagined belief in separation, in the belief that I am this person, I am a woman, a man, somebody, a cloud in the sky. May have the shape of a dragon, but when you go to it, there is nothing there, absolutely nothing. But your very self as what? As this very moment? What am I this very moment? Am I some object in time and space? What stands in the way of your experience right now? And take a look. You may find that there is nothing in the way. Ideas about how things should be, how the world should be, how my life should be. That's just a stream of thought. It flickers. That have no significance outside of the significance we give them. So our body, our true body, is a complete welcoming body, effortless welcoming. Sensations appear. The breath, whichever way it appears. No resistance. It's already so. It's not something that we accomplish. It's already so, effortlessly, hearing, sensing, feeling, being. The warmth of the body. The sound of the wind. The sensation of your feet on the ground. Where do we find any resistance? The world, the way it's unfolding. The body, thoughts, images arising in the night dream, in the waking dream, dissolving. Where is there any resistance? But somewhere in our experience, there is the belief that I am somebody, a separate, mortal form that exists in time and space, separate from the world. A personal consciousness. Somehow we have adopted this model, this belief, without investigation, without a deep inquiry. And the sense of me, personal cocoon of personal existence, gets weaved thicker and thicker around this belief. Isn't that so? My past, my future, my life, my body, my family, my tribe, my money, my health. What is this I that we refer to? Is it not the body-mind? Are you this I that you imagine yourself to be? We give value to what? To a field of sensations, images, beliefs, a storyline. With an imaginary character that I somehow buy into. And then the worries and the concerns are inevitable, right? What's going to happen to me tomorrow? We got so used to this state of dormant anxiety, subterranean worry, and sense of unease that we somehow gotten so used to. Is that the case? Is there a joy? Or moments here and there of freedom? Are we content? Are we content with spoonfuls of peace and happiness here and there when the stars line up? How about in this very moment, a fresh moment of being, no identity, not identified as me and you and him and her. The vastness of not knowing, being, not knowing, undefined, unlimited by self-definition. And the tendencies within the body that we don't notice. The tendencies to contract, limit, the openness and the freedom of breath. Notice how often the body is contracted. Resisting what? Images and ideas about how things should be in our job, hurdles that we erect within. What for? What for all these inner hurdles, inner obstacles? What purpose does it serve? For oneself and in relationship. It's right there occurring within us, so to speak, isn't it? Can we be still? Not some sort of strategy, but a stillness that does not maintain and repeat the old over and over. Because there is spaciousness in stillness, you see. The spaciousness of stillness. And there are no conditions within stillness, which is not something that we do. It's more of a non-doing. Being non-doing. So that whatever appears within us, the old patterns, the old vibrations are not obstructed. In the vastness of stillness, in the vastness of the silence of being, there are no issues. We do not maintain and repeat the old activities of building dams and maintaining the dams. Rather, we discover out of the vastness of presence, of attention, of listening, of being, we sort of perceive the situation without bringing in the past patterns. It's a fresh vision. Which is not guided by the past. do we need to hold on to images and ideas about ourselves? You resist. The world resists. In order to make our experience fit our scenario. Assuming ourselves to be what? All our sorrows come from the past. There are no sorrows in the present. Okay, so if you have any questions, anything that you would like to explore, please make sure you unmute your mic. Any questions?
Hello, Magdi. It's Marga.
Hello, Marga.
Hi. I don't have a question. I just wanted to say a quick thing that I remembered a cliche yesterday that all of a sudden struck me as profoundly true. That people used to say, today is the first day of the rest of your life. And it was kind of like a 1970s self-help catchphrase.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really pondering on that. And today I just had such a sensation of that truth in what your words were saying. And it feels like it just felt, your words made it profoundly true that there's nothing that has to come forward. And I appreciate the way you were able to articulate it as a bodily sensation, almost, that there's no luggage coming into the space of now.
Mm.
So thank you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
A person, me as a person, is a whole bunch of sluggish, isn't it? My past. But as presence, meaning in the directness of our experience, we don't experience the past. There is no history or story to reality. There is a history and story to the body, to the world, the Roman Empire, the Egyptian. There is a history to the world and to the body, but there is no history and no story to reality. So there is the life of the body, there is the life of the tribe, there is the life of the empire, the life of the world. But I don't have a life. Reality has no life. One could say reality is life, but not life in the relative sense of life and death. So in the absolute understanding, my life is universal life, it's eternal life. It's reality, but beyond the duality of life and death, of birth and death. So when we step out of our narrative about the body, about the world, when we step out of the me narrative, we don't step into another narrative. When we step out of the me narrative, we step out of all narratives. The narrative exists in time. There is a precedent and the following events, which is a narrative, which is a stream of thoughts that are being somehow recorded in some sort of recorder, which is imaginary. But there is also the physical recorder. There is a recorder. Well, the good old recorder where you press the button and it records the conversation. Like right now, for example, this meeting is being recorded. So there is that recorder. There is the recorders in the earth, the recording of past events within the earth, earthquakes or volcanic eruptions. When you dig into the earth, you can find different layers of history. But there is no recorder for reality, because reality does not occurring time. And when I'm talking about reality, I'm not giving a theoretical discourse about reality. I'm talking about the reality of this moment, the reality of I, whichever way we define reality, or leaving it undefined. I'm not talking about some theoretical treatise about reality, but the reality that we know is. In other words, right now, there is something rather than nothing. And we have a direct experience of that reality because we know that there is something rather than nothing. So this reality knows, is knowing, is self-knowing. And it's also knowing of perceptions. It knows perceptions. And it knows itself via the I am, and via the I am aware. So it is as if reality via the human experience provides a window into itself. Because via the human experience, we can comprehend I am, and we can comprehend I am aware as our direct experience. Which is the imprint of reality. One could say into the human potential of knowing. So the human is a potential via the human experience for reality to point itself to itself via the Satchit I am and I am aware. The undisputable aspect of our experience, rather than the aspect of our experience which we don't have certainty about. So one could say that the human experience is about the certainty, about the understanding and the realization of the certainty of that which is certain in our experience, direct absolute certainty, reaching the absolute certainty. Because you cannot argue with certainty. You can argue with belief, of course, but not with certainty. Any questions?
Hey, Magdi, can you hear me? It's Frank.
Yes. Hello, Frank.
Hi. So I wanted to ask you a question about, I was trying to formulate the question before I asked you, but it's not quite done yet. It's still in the oven, but
Okay.
it's to do with the body-mind experience. Like, okay, so lately I've been realizing that as my body-mind experience is one of feeling inept in dealing with life, very unskillful in life in many ways. In some ways, very skillful, very skilled. In other ways, very unskilled.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I've noticed is this idea that I want something other than myself to handle situations. Like right now, I've got this situation with my family that's very painful, and I don't want to take responsibility. I don't want to do any of this. I don't want to take responsibility for this. I want somebody to come in. So now I'm looking for consciousness to come in and help me. But up till, before I knew about consciousness, it was, looking for mommy and daddy.
Yes.
I don't have a daddy, but, looking for that mommy daddy figure. I would look for anybody who's around me. I'd turn them into a daddy or a mommy. Now I'm like, looking to consciousness to be my mommy and daddy. And it's like, it feels like there's a part of me that's just very childlike, or maybe even childish, who doesn't feel complete and wants somebody else to come in and help him out,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
just to save him.
Yes.
So do you have anything to say about that?
Yes, Frank. So, yes, at the body-mind level, the body-mind level is limited. We need help at that level. There are all sorts of shortcomings at that level, and there are all sorts of skills at that level. The body-mind may be skilled in certain areas, less skilled in others. Some body minds are they take a lot of pounding, others not much less. Which is, it's fun. It's like when you walk in the forest, not all the trees are, those, what do you call those huge pine trees in Northern California. I don't know, but the redwoods, not all trees are redwoods. You have hundreds, if not thousands, of variety of trees. So it's normal, for you to be wanting some help and to be seeking the help, whenever, in whichever way it's possible for you. Now, when you say, God, here I am, I'm available to you. Thy grace be done, thy will be done. This body-mind is limited. I could see it, and it's facing certain tasks that seem to be not unsurmountable, but quite difficult to deal with. So I am available for your help. This sort of prayer or invocation, it comes from the recognition of the limited capacity of this body-mind in this situation. And it's let's say, a request for help or a call for help that makes sense. But we also understand that God makes no mistakes. God is not a punishing God. He's not going to throw you into the fire. But God is love. The limited human mind may not comprehend, may have some idea about what love is. Love means a lot of money, a lot of sex, a lot of healthy things and good food. We may have a very narrow understanding about love. So that's not the way it is. God makes no mistake. And yes, I am facing a difficult situation. I could use help. So enlighten me about the path. Of course, you already are enlightened because you have the capacity to communicate, the capacity to perceive, the capacity to understand. Which this capacity becomes limited when you consider yourself the sacrificial lamb. Or when you consider yourself to be infallible. Of course you are fallible as a body-mind, limited. So we honor that. We don't have some glorified idea about the body-mind. We are realists, hopefully. So sometimes we say yes, sometimes we say no, sometimes we say, I could use your help. Please appear to me, help me out. So you may reach out to family members. You may even reach out to some very close friends, to yourself or to your mom. You may reach out to community help if community help is available. In other words, don't make it your mission to carry the burden on your shoulders. No. We are interconnected. It's not a one-man show. Your mom is part of the family, part of the society, part of the culture. There are various available services and maybe help available outside, beyond just yourself. So look around you, see what's available. You don't need to worry about your mom because your mom is in beautiful hands. She's got your love. She's got God's love. She's in beautiful hands already. We're just talking about her body, her, the manifest aspect.
Yeah, Magdi, thanks for that. I just wanted to just add in here that I don't want to go into any details about what's going on, but I'm having a lot of problems. So like there's a conflict situation with me and one of my siblings. It's very, very painful. And it's involving other people. And it's so that's the kind of thing I was talking about. It's just, I don't have the skills. I feel like I don't have the skills to handle it and I don't know where to turn. So I thought, it's just turning to consciousness and saying, please help me out of this, without me going into thought and trying to figure it out like I would in the past. I would go into thinking and try to figure this out and that out, and then feeling like I just don't know what to do and feeling bad about that. So I'm trying to just turn to consciousness. And is that would you say that's an option, to say consciousness, God, love, or whatever? Please help me out here. Give me some answers.
Absolutely, absolutely. Consciousness is love, is understanding, is wisdom, is compassion. So, but it's not something outside of you. So when you say, consciousness help me out, love help me out, understanding help me out, that's all within you. So the love that you're imploring, that you're calling for in consciousness, is within you. So you're calling onto that love. So you can't call onto that love and still remain in the anger, or remain in the past, or remain in what has happened. So when you call onto the love, then in the moment, in this moment, then you explore, like, how can I be with this situation without carrying on the past? How can I listen? How can I share? How can I feel what the other is perceiving, their fears? Because what they say, fearful people are projecting their fears out. So what's their fears? What's their concern? What's their worry? What's their anxiety? They're being aggressive. They feel fearful. There is something that's scaring them. Can I make room for that? Can I sort of understand that, okay, they're coming from a place of worry and concern. It's not like that they hate my guts or something like that. There is something going on which I don't know. But obviously, if they're aggressing me, there's something they're trying to defend, Like the mother lioness, she aggresses whoever gets close because she's protecting her cubs. She doesn't want anybody to come close to her cubs. So yes, to call onto consciousness for help and guidance is very good, but you also need to understand that you are this consciousness. And so you have to live how consciousness lives. And consciousness lives out of benevolence. It's available. It's not in the process of protecting itself. It's in the process of life. So it's not ignoring itself, but it's encompassing everything and everybody. So of course, I don't know the details, but sometimes the other is another. And when they experience themselves as another, there is sort of a conflict, a potential for conflict between me and the other. So it's up to us to perceive the other as ourself, whichever way whatever that means to you. There isn't like a formula that, to fit that. It's a living, it's how we live it that makes it significant. Perceiving the other as our very self, your brother or other siblings or whoever they are, as your very self, with the same love, the same worry, the same concern, the same fears, etc. So that you're not just stuck in your position, you also have some empathy and some sympathy and some understanding for their position.
Okay, thanks, Magdi. Appreciate it. Yep, I have to open up a little bit more because what you just said just there, I'm lacking in that a lot. So I have to really open myself up to have some empathy for these people that some of these. Well, anyway, I don't want to go into details, but yeah, it's difficult. But I'm going to open myself up to that.
Because for your brother, you are that guy with this problem, that problem, that problem. For you, he is the guy who has this problem, that problem. It's a mirror. It's like, it's a play of mirrors. But it's the same play, you know, okay, different language, different versions, but it's the same play. And that play goes on forever until we start opening up to the possibility that the other is myself. So that we invite him in. Okay, what is it? What are you? What is happening? You know, within your own space that I can experience within myself, and I can feel the compassion, like like a communion, a sort of communion with the other. I can sense sort of, what is spinning for them. There's something spinning for them that I don't know what it is. I'm just experiencing something coming at me, you see. So it's one of the ways in which we bring our understanding in our life. And that's part of the maturity. That's part of the ripening of the teaching, of the understanding is in our life. Anyways.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much, Magdi. Appreciate it so much.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay, Frank. Any questions?
Hello, Magdi.
Yes, Rome. Hello, Rome.
Hello. Thank you. My camera still doesn't work. We talked some time ago where I talked about this numbness, that sense of everything being numb. And that has lessened. So now what occurs is the oscillations again, opening, closing, expansion, contraction. And I'm sort of very grateful for that. But at the same time, the longing is so painful. The longing for just the being, seeing. I don't know how to express that. for myself. Yeah. So it's really, really, really painful. So these oscillations, maybe, I don't know. I know there's no Lunai in here in this body that can do anything about this. And yet, this question keeps showing itself to seek some help. And I don't know what else. Maybe you can talk a bit about that.
Mm-hmm. So the longing, we all share this longing, which is the longing for peace, the causeless peace, the longing for happiness. Somehow within us, we cannot tolerate unhappiness for too long. And so we are seeking, whether we are seeking a better job, more money, or whether we're seeking a better relationship or a healthier body, whatever we are seeking, behind those objects which we are seeking, behind those experiences we are seeking, in fact, we are seeking happiness. We are seeking the causeless peace. We are seeking the end of personal desire. Because when we attain, when we get that which we desire, at that moment we are happy, not because we have gotten something, but we are happy because at that moment we are desireless. So it is painful to be constantly desiring objects, things, because takes so much effort, so much trouble to attain, to achieve your phenomenal desire, and then you have a moment of desirelessness, a moment of peace, and then you go on to the next personal desire. It's painful. So then we say, okay, happiness, I'm not going to get happiness out of a nice house, a nice body, nice relationship, beautiful house by the ocean. I'm not going to get happiness from that. I'm going to get happiness from a spiritual experience. And so we formulate and we have a little insight into a spiritual experience, a moment of peace, which is causeless. And then we we seek that experience again and again in various spiritual studies, spiritual prayers, etc. But it's still, the spiritual goal is still an object. We need to understand that we are seeking that which we are. But that which we are seeking is not phenomenal, is not an object, is not a sensation, is not a spiritual experience. Because all of those are phenomenal. There is a cause and an effect. But that which we are seeking has no cause, is not phenomenal. We say it is noumenal, meaning non-phenomenal. What is it in your experience that is noumenal, that is not non-phenomenal? It is awareness, consciousness. Which is neither male or female, neither big or small. No location. It's not located in the north or in the east. The reality of your experience is noumenal, non-phenomenal. Everything else is appearance. Everything else is mind. That which you are seeking is not mind. Is not phenomenal. Whatever you imagine, meaning thoughts, memories, images, are phenomenal. They are objects. That which you are is not an object. It's a noumenal, which I refer to as the reality of being, the reality of awareness. Sometimes it is said that we seek very far that which is closer than close. We seek very far that which we are. So, yes, there may be images that appear on the screen, meaning, feelings, sensations, images. They have no significance outside of the significance you choose to give them. Why give significance to that which is fleeting, that which appears and disappears? How about giving significance to that which does not appear or disappear? The reality of awareness. Right now, you are aware. There is awareness. It's not an object. Not something you perceive via the senses. Yet, it is your experience. I am aware. It's an undeniable experience, undeniable reality. The reality which we refer to as awareness, being aware, being awareness. Consider that you are not defined by that which you perceive. The lonely character which you perceive as sensations, as images, whichever manner you perceive this lonely character is not that which you are. It is the body-mind that you perceive. But that which perceives the reality that perceives is non-phenomenal, has no issues whatsoever. No issues. It's nominal. Is what you are, and is that which you are looking for. Open yourself up to this possibility. Invite this understanding to reveal itself whichever way it wishes to. Whenever it wishes to. You are available as this openness. Relax your body-mind. Relax your borders. Relax your edges. Allow whatever images appear to appear. Notice the tendency, the inner tendency to argue, to divide. You don't need to pursue this tendency or repeat. Let it be. Relax. allow.
Thank you, Magdi. The moment you said, reminded me that what I seek is what I am, awareness. That is so clear. It's so ridiculous. Yeah. Don't know. Yeah.
God likes to play, you know. God likes to play. She's quite.
That's... Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Lovely to chat with you.
Thank you.
Okay. Any questions? Well, thank you all. Very lovely to be with you all. Catalina, hola Catalina, Holger, Mina,
Thank you, Magdi.
Lone, Lauren, Lisa,
Thank you.
Grace, John, Marga, Shiva, Gisela,
Thank you.
Dog, hey dog, Jenny. Hello Karen, Malcolm, hi Malcolm.
Thank you, Magdi.
And Maria, and everybody. I hope I didn't miss anybody. Thank you all.
Thank you, Magdi.
Thank you.
Thank you, Magdi.